This is task 4D part 3. So you've created this reservation form for new reservations and you've done the validation for the checkout date. There's now a few more things that need to be done. You're going to need to save the reservation into the reservation table, and for that we're going to be using an append query. There will be a button that will need to be put on and a macro. Well, we've got the button and we've got the blank macro, but we need to populate that macro. Then we need to look at how we are going to make sure that only one visitor per room, or only one room, can be used at a time. So each room can only be used once for any time slot. So we only show available rooms. And that is quite complicated, and so that's going to be a couple of video tutorials to take you through that, and then it will be about the annotation. But in order to prepare you for this, there's a few things that need to be done. First of all, save the database with a new name. You're going to be appending data, so make sure you've got a copy of your database and you've saved it as something else for later on, and you can always go back then to data that hasn't been appended. If you haven't already done so, these dates here need to be formatted as a short date. So make sure they are formatted as a short date. We also need to name the fields. Now, if you recall, in the validation, we've already named this field. So if we go to all, you can see that we named this one form check-in date. But we also need to name the other ones so that we can make reference to them when we append data to the tables. So for checkout date, if you just call that form checkout date, it's useful to put the word form in because you can then make sure that you can distinguish between this and other ones that you might be making reference to as well. And we don't want this to be called combo 1, so we'll call this form visitor because that's what it is, and this one we're going to call form room. That will now allow us to make reference to each of these text boxes without sort of like saying text 1, combo 1, and it will make a lot more sense to us. So the next video tutorial is going to take you through creating the append query that will take the data from this form and then add it to the reservation table.